In the next round of parallel tracks, we have two fireside chats. In track 1, there's a fireside chat on digital transformation of Northeast in post-COVID world with KD Wiseau, Principal Secretary, IT and Power, Department of Information Technology and Communication, Government of Nagaland, and Mohammad Ujale, Senior Special Correspondent, ET Government. In second track, there's a fireside chat on growth trajectory for Airports Authority of India, key drivers for 2021. This chat session is between Indrakanti Narsimha Murthy, Member, Operations and Board Member of Airports Authority of India, and T. Radhakrishna, Editor, ET Government. Over to you, Ujale and Radhakrishna.
Welcome to Fireside Chat on the theme of growth trajectory for Airports Authority of India, key drivers for 2021 fiscal. The Airports Authority of India is a statutory body and also a mini Ratna category public sector enterprise. Working under the Ministry of Civil Aviation, Government of India is responsible for creating, upgrading, maintaining and managing civil aviation infrastructure in India. Please allow me to introduce my guest today. Sri Indrakanti Narsimha Murthy has taken over the charge of member operations, the board member of Airports Authority of India on November 23, 2016. He is a postgraduate in physics, electronics, and joined as aerodrome officer in 1985 in Civil Aviation Department of Government of India, which subsequently became today's Airports Authority of India. Mr. Murthy has long experience in aviation sector by serving different positions in Directorate of Air Traffic Management, Directorate of Aerodrome Planning, Airport Management Operations of EAAI. Prior to taking over the charge of member operations, he served as a Regional Executive Director, Southern Region at Chennai, and Executive Director, Air Traffic Management in Airspace Management Directorate at Corporate Headquarters of Airports Authority of India. Once again, Mr. Murthy, welcome to today's Fireside Chat.
Thank you.
So my first question to you, sir. Airports Authority of India and its ecosystem played a significant role during COVID-19 lockdown in ensuring the supplies, essential medicines, reaching every part of the country, besides bringing in fellow citizens from various countries using repatriation flights under Vande Bharat mission. So currently in the new normal, what is the general scenario of growth trajectory for Airports Authority of India and its airports in terms of number of air travelers and aircrafts taking off each day? Can you please, sir?
Now, presently, I'm also looking after the portfolio of member ANS, my colleague who has retired. So I'm looking after the function of member ANS also apart from member operations.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So the COVID has hit the world very badly, COVID pandemic, and now still, we are yet to recover fully from that impact. Though the lockdowns have come down, but and the air traffic has again, restarted. So actually, during the this COVID period, that is even pre-COVID, India was the first responder in terms of safeguarding the international arriving passengers. We started this screening of the passengers right from at all the international airports, especially initially the passengers coming from China and associated countries from 18th January itself. Thereafter, we have commenced the screening of all the passengers coming from all the international airports abroad, all the international passengers. And finally, before the lockdown, on 22nd of March, the international flights were banned coming into India. And subsequently on 25th March, the domestic flights were suspended. So then the question came about the rescue of our Indian citizens abroad who have to be brought back. So the government immediately, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has taken the lead role in this. Immediately we started the Vande Bharat mission, initially by Air India, and subsequently the other airlines also have joined. And almost 65 lakh passengers have been brought back. Even now the flights are continued, and along with some travel bubble arrangements with other countries for the international, but international flights, scheduled flights as a normal routine, they have not yet commenced. So we are still taking a very cautious approach. And once the post-lockdown, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has taken the right step to recommence the domestic operations in a very calibrated manner. So that is, initially we started with 33% of the capacity of the airports as per the summer schedule of the scheduled flights. And from there we increased gradually to 45%, then 65%, and then subsequently now 80%. And the time is not far off before we commence 100% capacity also in the near future. Because now the vaccination has started, and the disease is under control, except that sometimes little hiccups are there with respect to some new strains developing and all. For that also, all the precautions are being taken. So in line with this particular the calibrated approach taken by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, Airport Authority of India also has taken up the measures for introducing the domestic flights in our airports in the same manner. And compared to the pre-COVID figures, as on the last January figures, the traffic has recovered, the flights have recovered almost, international flights also recovered up to 36.1%. You can call them these Vande Bharat flights or travel bubbles. And international passengers recovery is about 21.4% with these evacuation operations as well as the travel bubble arrangements, because the business has to go on, people have to travel. And but whereas a good growth has been witnessed in terms of the domestic airlines and passengers, the domestic aircraft recovery is 72.8% at AA airports, compared to, of course, overall at all the other airports put together it is 73%. So it is in line at AA airports also. And domestic passengers recovery is passengers, that is departing passengers. We count that is a scale, that is a indicator how the growth is taking place. Means number of persons traveled, passengers. So that is 65%. So within no time now, per day we are witnessing about 3 lakh domestic passengers traveling on an average, and that is departing passengers. That is overall arrival and departure put together about 6 lakhs passengers are handled at throughout all the airports. That is at all the JV and private airports as well as AA airports. This kind of percentage figures are a good indicator of the recovery that we are taking place. So once this with this recovery now, as soon as the government again, the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the Government of India and also the corresponding Ministry of Civil Aviation gives the directives, even we are ready to handle 100%. How this happened, how this recovery happened is basically because we have taken all the measures and steps that are required to ensure that our passengers feel confident to travel safely through our airports without the risk of getting the infection. So further, we have taken various measures. We have resorted to touchless screening and entry, and touchless frisking, as well as avoiding the use of paper documents, and creating, the self check-in, a web check-in that, of course, airlines also have facilitated, and passenger self bag drop. All those facilities were created at at all our airports. So, and frequent sanitation. We leave no area uncovered in this respect, and very frequent sanitation, and also even sanitizing the passenger baggage. And of course, from the airlines also have equally taken corresponding steps for ensuring that the air travel is safe throughout the journey period by giving the PPE kits to the passengers, and also the hygiene measures that are taken in the sanitation of the aircraft. So overall, the entire aviation ecosystem has taken very concerted steps to ensure that the passenger confidence increases. So nevertheless, as the business travel, is not picking up so far because people are trying to avoid the travel even now. But we have observed the trend of the leisure travel picking up very fast during the weekends. And business travel almost like other technological disruptions in terms of the passenger travel is something like people are resorting to VC, the digital means of doing their business mostly. But nevertheless, that cannot go on forever because people-to-people interaction is far better when we sit across the table and negotiate a deal. So we are sure that the business travel also will pick up very fast once the pandemic is controlled very effectively with this vaccination, for which also actually I should say it is Airports Authority of India has acted very fast when the passenger vaccine distribution is the COVID vaccine distribution is to take place. AA and also other JV airports have pitched in to facilitate this very quickest movement of the vaccine through our airports. And Ministry of Civil Aviation is the fulcrum point who have made this happen. And I can tell you, the vaccine that was loading up into the aircraft, as well as once it is taken to the destination and offloading, within less than 10 minutes, the delivery is given to the consignor. We ensured all these measures. So this is how this recovery in the Indian airports is very fast. Next, only comparable to Russia and China, we heard that yes, they are a little ahead in this manner. But yes, we are equally catching up, and we are far ahead in terms of the situation in Europe and Americans in the continent.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, which are the areas you see for the growth drivers in the next 3 to 4 years for Airports Authority of India?
Growth drivers is the passenger traffic rise. So, commensurate with the passenger traffic rise, as you must be aware that India has witnessed a tremendous air traffic growth in the last 1 decade, and especially during the last 4 years, because this government has given all the right initiatives and the right policy directives to ensure that the civil aviation growth in this country, the trajectory is maintained, with a very high importance. For that, all the related policy documents, the National Civil Aviation Policy 2016 has helped a lot towards this. It's the right policy covering every aspect of the aviation. And one such thing is the very innovative and very big game changer is the regional connectivity scheme, that is codenamed UDAN, Uday Desh Ka Aam Nagarik, where actually the travel has become affordable for a common man. That is a motive, and that has enabled tier 3 cities also to be connected into the network of the air traffic. So for that, Airport Authority of India has taken right direction with a commensurate infrastructure development, and we are the key implementers of the RCS scheme, developing those airports and developing that infrastructure required. Apart from taking care of our own airports expansion, the terminal buildings expansion to meet this additional traffic growth, and as well as the making our airports very safe and secure for the air travel and for the most efficient use of the aircraft operations and the passenger processing through the terminal buildings. So it's a two-pronged thing. So as you must be aware, Airport Authority of India it has two multi-role functions. It wears two hats. We are the airport operators as well as air navigation service providers. So we have, apart from the airport infrastructure that we do on the ground, we undertake the air traffic services responsibility over 2.8 million square nautical miles airspace. That is 1.03 million square nautical miles of the continental airspace, where it is a Indian sovereign territory. And apart from that, the ICAO delegated oceanic airspace, for the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal, right up to the Indian Ocean, of 1.76 square nautical miles. We got a huge airspace where actually we are providing air traffic services very efficiently to all the airlines. There also, we are one of the regional safety monitoring agency in the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea area. We monitor the safety of the aircraft with respect to large lateral deviation or large vertical deviation to the aircraft. And for that, we have got most modern network of radars in the country, and also air traffic flow management we have, and also we have ADSB, that is automated dependent surveillance broadcast, where we can track this aircraft as an additional surveillance input. And because the ADSB the receivers coverage is very less, up to 200 miles, we have signed an MOU with an international service provider, Aeron, for the space-based ADSB. So the space-based ADSB is a constellation of Iridium satellites with the package of the Aeron on board, which will low Earth satellites, which will receive the satellite data, which will receive the ADSB transponder data from the aircraft, and it will project through a link with at a central station in the US, where it is processed and again fed to our air traffic service units and projected onto our radar screens, so that we can see the entire coverage over the oceanic airspace, which is hitherto not possible to physically track the aircraft, except through some. So in some segments, we can do the controller pilot data link. We can, of course, track the aircraft, but this will give much more enabled thing, which will help us in the search and rescue operations, and also apart from the reduction of the separation between the aircraft and monitoring the flight throughout the journey. So this kind of air navigation, we have got very modern air navigation services. We have got a flight calibration unit for calibrating our nav aids. We have got a network of navigation lights spread all over the country. Apart from that, Airport Authority of India is designing performance-based navigation approach, which is a satellite-derived data, where the ground-based nav aids requirement can be curtailed to a large extent, and where actually we are designing these performance-based navigation approaches. We call them RNP APCH approaches, instrument approaches, where aircraft can land in marginal visibility conditions. Like, for example, Pakyong, we had a very big challenge of flights that have to land only above 5 kilometers, where we have designed this PBN procedure where actually aircraft could reduce the visibility criteria vastly. Up to now, they can land at 2.3 kilometers visibility also. So that has enabled the connectivity to that airport once again. So we are, so this way, the air traffic growth and the airport infrastructure development will put us in the right state to meet the aspirational goal of becoming the third biggest aviation market in the world, which was supposed to be by 2025. And with all the right policies and the procedures in place, we are sure that we will achieve it to increase our economy from the national goal of increasing the Indian economy to $5 trillion.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, you are building 100 new airports by 2024 under the Regional Air Connectivity Scheme. How do you see the plan is shaping up?
Yes, it is coming out very well, sir. In fact, out of 100 new airports that are planned, we are already through with 54 airports, which comprises 3 waterdromes, and that is 5 heliports and 2 water aerodromes. As you are aware, we have operationalized that. We are there in the forefront with the Ministry of Civil Aviation and Government of Gujarat. We have developed that Sabarmati Riverfront, that waterdrome, with connecting with Sardar Sarovar Lake. So that is the first time services have started in that aspect with the service provider SpiceJet. And this will become another way of connectivity, especially even to the remote islands like Agatti, where we have, of course, one airport is there in Agatti, and we have got one airport in joint user airports in Port Blair, But there are other islands, and also this island connectivity will improve vastly with the help of these water drones. So that also that we are going to take up as under this UDAN scheme, the ministry has initiated. It's a very good initiative. We are doing that. And also apart from that, some heliports also we have developed. There is 5 heliports. So 48 airports, 5 heliports and 2 water aerodromes, total 54 new airports or new airports, you can say. They already commenced.
Okay.
And the remaining 46 we are sure to achieve before 2024. And for that, right kind of the budgetary provisions and everything is made.
So, as part of your impetus to build infrastructure for Airports Authority of India, how significant is the role of technology for your authority and its ecosystem?
Technology is the harbinger of efficiency and reduction of the cost. And that every organization, including the government and private entities, have recognized in our country. That is how actually our digital growth is phenomenal in this country. And we are the biggest IT and ITES service providers in the world. And most of our exports, as you are aware, the IT industry, and the kind of very highly skilled technologies that we provide, who are making our name big in other countries. So, Airport Authority of India is no exception. We have taken up the technology as our the forefront to improve. We got a big IT. We got a IT division. Want to take all the IT initiatives. We have got identified about 33 initiatives to digitize our airports, and we are implementing them in a phased manner. So, and already some of the things which are implemented is we have migrated to an ERP for our various requirements, and ERP modules have been implemented for the human resource development as well as finance and project management, material management, and all other areas. Also, we have in-house developed a very nice platform that is airport information management system. And apart from that, what many people may not be aware, of course, the real estate area, they know it very well. Our NOC application system, we call it NOCAS, NOCAS. That is one of the aerodrome safeguarding requirement that we restrict the height of the structures all around the airport within a given area, defined area, for the smooth and safe landing of the aircraft and operations of the aircraft. So where actually we have to protect the aircraft operations with respect to obstructions. So all the structures that are to be constructed, man-made structures, that will be a prior no objection certificate is required from our Airport Authority of India. So hitherto, this used to become a big problem because the manual calculations used to be made, errors used to creep. There is a system for a lot of complaints used to come. So we have made a platform, a digital platform, NOC application system, which has changed the entire thing. You know, now it is very transparent. The person can track his application and he can see, and also he can know at a given area how much height he can expect. So all those things. So it is very transparent. And further, we have integrated under the ease of doing business. We are the first ones to come forward and integrate with urban local bodies under the initiative of the Ministry of Urban Development. And we have integrated so many at so many places for a single window clearance of the building permissions. So this AI could enable because of our technology initiative. And similarly, as I told you that we have got a vast network of radars, and this radar data has to be brought in a homogeneous manner so that we have created upper airspace harmonization throughout the country. We have got a big plan. The entire southern region and the eastern region and the northern region, airspace has been harmonized above flight level 250, where actually the entire traffic seamlessly is controlled from one control center. Now we have such control centers at Chennai, Kolkata, and Delhi. Now, next one at Bombay also we are going to implement, so that once the entire country is harmonized, upper airspace is harmonized, then a smooth, seamless air traffic services provision can be enabled, and with that we can reduce the number of centers required to ultimately only 2 will be there. The entire country can be controlled from 2 centers. So that is one that will improve the fuel efficiency of the aircraft, because more and more direct routings can be given, and more and more. And we have installed air traffic flow management, which is a very high technology game changer, where actually demand versus capacity at the airports can be studied, and accordingly the traffic can be fed. And the delays to the aircraft can be reduced at the ground with a corresponding airport collaborative decision system that is also in-house developed. In fact, even the CANSO, the Confederation of Air Navigation Services providers in the country, in the world, the CANSO is a body where they have recognized our effort in this direction. They have given a very good appreciation for developing this airport collaborative decision-making system, ACDM. We have already implemented at many of our airports. We are integrated with air traffic flow management, and that is giving us a very high result and efficiency in the operations, reduction of the fuel emissions to the aircraft, and a lot of savings for the aircraft. And with the great support of the government of India and our defense forces, especially Air Force, we could do the upper air flexible use of the airspace, where actually there is considerable, we have created a lot of conditional routes, about 33,000 feet and above in the northern sector they have permitted, and 25,000 feet and above in the southern sector south of Pune. So with this also a lot of benefits are accruing to the airlines. And once the airlines are benefited, then their sustenance will improve, and that will again come back into the system. The airports will be benefited, and the entire country will be benefited. And we are very thankful to our defense forces for giving us this opportunity, and also to allow this flexible use of airspace in a very effective manner. To the Government of India's initiative, we are very thankful to that. And similarly, for the technology at the airports, we introduced DigiYatra, a facial recognition system, which will enable touchless passenger processing, and also the face of the passenger is the passport, by creating a digital ID for them. It's called DigiYatra ID. The DigiYatra ID, for that foundation has been made, where actually the related application is being developed. And at the airport level system implementation, Airport Authority of India is doing at 4 airports, that is Kolkata, Pune, Varanasi, and Vijayawada. We have taken different segments of aircraft because this is a new technology, so we can see the efficiency of its uses, and accordingly we can multiply it. Once it is approved there, we can implement at other airports. And apart from AI, all the JV airports are also taking up this initiative. So it is also another game changer, because the passenger from the entry to the boarding seamlessly will pass through various touch points without the requirement of providing the what you call paper IDs, paper documents. So that is very good from this in the new normal point of view, as well as the passenger comfort and speedy processing. The airport throughput also will increase because of that. And now in the new normal, post-COVID, to instill the confidence among the passengers, we introduced touchless documentation, and also to touchless check-in through the airports, and self-bag drops, so that and also touchless frisking at the security counters. So these are some of the initiatives, and of course we have our future areas are totally going for the cloud computing, big data analytics, machine learning. Of course, artificial intelligence is the most the required thing that we will be implementing, and also smart machines and robots, Internet of Things. These are the things. And one more area which I have forgotten is the Air Seva, the grievance portal. is developed by AI for the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and you can see it for yourself. All the passenger grievances are immediately redressed within the stipulated time, because that once a grievance is lodged there, it will go to the concerned organization, whether it is government or the private entity like airlines, and the redressal mechanism is set. And apart from that, it will also, that particular AirSeva platform also gives a gamut of information about the airports and various facilities available there, and the flight information the passenger can know at a touch. And we have implemented the e-office. All our offices are now paperless. Actually, it started with a trickle, but now correspondingly, now we have almost become, paperless offices to the great extent. All our file processing and everything is done through the e-office. And implemented, as I told you already, we have done, biometric access control system for our staff and the airline staff and the airport staff at 43 airports. And we have one more important factor is we have established Airport Operational Control Center. It is a now center at an airport where the entire airport operations are monitored and they are required, including the stand allocation, gate allocation, and the resource allocations with respect to the conveyor belts, and everything is done in a very efficient manner from one operational control center, where the airlines will sit and the airport operator will be there. Interaction will take place, how to best efficiently way to manage the operations. And similarly, inside the airport also, we introduced the flight information display systems and very interactive kiosks for the passenger information. And all our baggage handling system and everything are very futuristic and technology oriented. And at many of our airports, we introduced inline X-ray baggage systems, so that the requirement of passengers double checking at the with one queue at the X-ray machines to register baggage check and again go there. So at about 12 airports we implemented already, and further we are going to do at another 10 more airports. So once these things are in place, the passenger comfort will increase tremendously. So with all these measures, the Airport Authority of India is scoring very high on the airport service quality parameters. The international body, Airport Council International, is the body which is rating the airports with a benchmarking procedure with 33 parameters to be surveyed through the airports with an independent surveyor. And that goes and the ranking is done. And many of our airports are winning the best airport awards. This year also, even during the pandemic, we have done 2-quarter survey, and 4 of our airports have got back the award for the best airports in their category.
Thank you, sir. And my last question, sir. For your technology adoption projects, can you highlight timelines for that, sir?
Sir, we have specific timelines like DigiYatra, as I told you, that we are going to complete it within this year at those 4 airports. And the DigiSky already is going live. Of course, I didn't mention about the DigiSky. DigiSky is a drone control platform, drone management platform. We have developed for the Ministry of Civil Aviation. And the go live is going to take place on this 20th March. So where all the drones in the country, they can be registered, and their zones were identified where they can fly. And it has all been done in most, and in the phase 1 implementation is going to do. And apart from that, we have taken into consideration the young talent that is available and the young entrepreneurs, that is startups. We are giving a very high impetus for encouraging the startups. In fact, Airport Authority of India has conducted even the hackathons under the aegis of the Ministry of Education, and where the college students, their efficacy is tested out, and to encourage them, and the awards are given. So we have conducted, as part of that mechanism, we have conducted hackathons. And startups, we have a startup policy which we are further fine-tuning. We have onboarded 4 startups companies in niche areas of our technology forefront, where otherwise, in case that same technology is to be purchased are to be adopted through a procurement process that would cost us very high. So we are hopeful that we will encourage the startups, and we will. There are various areas in the airports. As I told you, those 33 digital initiatives are there. Many places we can we can engage the startups, so that we are developing those entrepreneurs, as well as we are getting a benefit out of that. And we have got specific timelines for each and every one of them, and we are matching those timelines. We are expecting the airport's digitization process to be completed in the next 3 years.
So, Sri Indrakanti Narasimhamurthy, Member Operations and Member ANS Additional Charge, the Board of Airports Authority of India, Government of India. Thank you very much for talking to us in Fireside Chat on growth trajectory for Airports Authority of India, key drivers for 2021, part of National Governance Virtual Summit. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you to all for such a wonderful chat session. Stay tuned for more such content as we'll take a short break.